I love that.
Good morning and welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Yaron Engler. We've spoken before about different things, but this, much to Yaron's chagrin, is going to be about Yaron and his journey. So Yaron, tell me, how did you start out to get you on the road to where you are now?
I'll start from kind of late because the main thing is 2015. This is where I had my first experience in a men's weekend only, which for me was quite revealing, and a lot of things happened for me to me in that weekend. And since then, I decided to commit a lot to the work with men, and this is the main thing I can relate right now. Take it back, there are life experience of many things that happened. Which led me to where I am today. I don't know how detailed we want to be with this.
Well, I know that you've made no secret. You suffered from depression yourself.
Yeah, I suffered from depression. I suffered from being lost. I didn't know how to relate to people. Sometimes it's still happening. There are many issues, and I found that there was no place for me as a man to go and explore these things in a clear way. I've tried anything that you can think of, as my depression started when I was a teenager, around 15. And I felt very lost and dark in this world where it seemed like everybody knows what the hell is going on. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? I didn't understand. And it came to the age of 19 or 20, something like this, when I went to a psychiatrist, recommended, my parents told me maybe I can go to a psychiatrist, and I received pills from him. He told me to take pills which will reduce the levels of anxiety and depression and so on. And I took the pills for 2-3 weeks. And then something very strong in me told me like, I can do it myself. I don't need to put something in my body. And that was the beginning of a long journey that I started to explore psychologists, books, workshops, Greenberg method, Alba method, literally so many types of things that, and it's still a journey, and that's what life is about.
So fast forward to when you developed the crop method.
Yeah.
Because we spoke earlier and you said that whilst there's a lot of things out there that you felt very much that you were going this place, that place, and you wanted to find a way of bringing it all together to support really professional men in the most part that are going through difficult times. So tell me how the crop method came about.
Like everything else in my life, crop method came after I did it. I don't normally plan too much in advance. I just go and try things and make things happen, and then I reflect back and like, what the hell did I do here? That was kind of crop. So for me, I was my career all my life I was a touring drummer. My dream since the age of 4 was to become a drummer, and despite what everybody told me around me, don't make this a career, I listened to myself and it happened. But then at the 2012, it was the same period when I knew I'm going to become a father, I knew that it's time to let that go and to go on a new journey. And from that point, I discovered this thing of coaching. And there's a lot of beautiful stuff about coaching. There is a lot of bullshit around coaching. Mm-hmm. And I kind of had to maneuver myself into what I felt was more true. So I did a lot of coaching in different formats, one-on-one with groups. And after a few years, the question came like, how do you do the work? Because I didn't have any professional training around coaching. I've done a lot of coaching anyway before in my life. And I reflected, I was asking myself, is there actually a process here, any method, anything that is going on? And I reflected back, and then I thought, actually there is. It's a very simple framework, and I called it CROP. There are 2 ideas there. One of them is like, we have so much noise, so much chaos going on in our lives, things that we have to deal with, the kids and the bills and the work and the future and what's going on. How can we crop from all that noise? How can we crop our lives to only what matters? Mm-hmm. It's coming from the 4 letters. The C is cleansing and clearing. This is something that I invite myself and everybody that I work with. How can we let go of all the shit that is holding us back? It can be people, it can be food, it can be information, so on. Once we do that, once we clear and cleanse all that noise that is telling us who we should be, then what happens is the R. We reconnect with who we are, reconnect with our inner voice, reconnect with our truth, or however you want to call it. And that can be a scary moment for a lot of people, because once we unplug from all that external noise that dictate what we should think and feel and everything, and that inner voice bubbles up, it can contradict how you lived your life in the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And that can be quite overwhelming. But it's a beautiful moment as well if you get the support and you can learn that voice, as scary as it is, this is your truth.
Yeah.
So better following that than living this unfulfilled life that so many of us keep living. And then once we do the reconnecting with our inner voice, then we move to the O, which is observation. From that point where you no longer live your life so much by what other people think and dictate to you, and you do it more by yourself, your level of observation is much deeper. So you can see, like, why am I saying this? Why am I thinking like this? Why am I feeling this? You have much deeper level of self-awareness. And that's it. So you do the cleansing and clearing, you reconnect with who you are, you start to observe deeper who you are and how you do life. And then you move to the P, which is play, which is potential. This is where your life becomes more fun, more exciting, more in integrity, better relationships, and so on. Now, is it one of those methods? That's the crop method. Now, is it a method that I'll tell you, you do these 4 steps and your life will change and everything will be perfect and there are no troubles at all and you'll be rich? Absolutely not. I don't believe in these things. I've done a lot of these promises workshop. It's not about that. Life is challenging. Life is hard. Life is beautiful. Life is everything. But what happens through the crop, it's a cycle that every time you get to know yourself better. And when you know yourself better, you can start filtering much easier the noise around you and live more in truth. And living in truth isn't always easy. It's actually very challenging sometimes. But the texture and flavor of the hardship of life when you do it from your truth, and again, I use the word truth because it's a word that I resonate with, compared to living according to what you're supposed to be doing, according to what you've been told, the level of hardship and the taste and the flavor is very, very different. And you're capable to take much more on you without going to the depression and anxiety and all these things, because it's your truth. It's no longer this confusing place. That's what the crop is.
I think it's also worthwhile sort of reiterating that the crop method and all these different therapies, there is no quick fix. It is something that you will constantly work on throughout your life. Yeah,
my teacher, the guy that John Wineland, who is an amazing man who introduced me to the men's work, he has this a phrase, sorry about the language, but he says, "Fuck hacking, go deep." And I really like that, because everybody's trying to sell us the quick fixes. And there are some things that you can have quick fixes. You know, a lot of the work that I do with clients, there are a lot of things that very quickly we can change. I'm not saying no. But if you're really looking for real transformation, if you're really looking to know who you are, if you're really looking to let go of all that noise that is really annoying you, that's life. You know, life is about living that. It's about exploring that and clearing this. It's not a quick fix.
And it's definitely the journey, isn't it? Definitely the journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put some links to your website and bits and pieces in the comments after the video. Just one thing that I really want to know: when are you going to start involving ladies in this?
I have been involving ladies in my work many years. It's not like I have nothing against women, but that's something that I need to make very clear. The fact that I work only with men, it's not because there is anything against women. Actually, the beautiful thing is the comments that I get from the women, from the wives and girlfriends of the men that I work with. It probably will happen someday, but the reason why I'm so dedicated to men is because we don't have as men these kind of places. Yeah. Women have enough of those places. Women will naturally go and do it by themselves, and they will be open enough to go to other places. Mm-hmm. For me, the intention is to break the stigma and to create a space for men who want to work on themselves, want to grow their life, take it to the next level, not from a cliche point of view, but really like, I'm a man who is capable to do more. I want to open up. I'm willing to do the work. Where do these guys go? They don't have where to go. So for me, once I feel that there are enough men doing the work and that it's there, working with women is great. So much fun.
On that note, listen, Yaron, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Thank you. Thank you.